Hello, my friends, and I hope you are having a fantastic day. I am back for Denver, and I had a good time. I hope everybody enjoyed the videos I left for you while I was gone. I know they weren't all that great, but I saw some of you enjoyed some of the recommendations, and I really do need to figure out how to better do a highlight reel, but that will come in the future. I promise I will be working on that. All that said, so of course, while I'm gone, they decide to drop some more DragonAge news. And to say that I am unhappy with it is an understatement. I mean, I guess maybe I shouldn't be unhappy with it because all it does is further confirm that I will not be buying this game. And I'll get to why. So here is an article from PC Gamer. DragonAge, the Veilguard's difficulty options will let you turn off death entirely. So they've literally added a journalist mode. This is a game they made not for players, but for journalists. They did not make this for people who want to play video games. Or, I guess they did make it for people who also would like to play an interactive story, as opposed to playing a video game. DragonAge the Veilguard, the upcoming new addition to BioWare's long-running fantasy RPG series that used to have a much cooler title, which is true, will include an array of combat difficulty options, including one that disables death and its attendant downsides entirely. A new Game Informer preview has a closer look at Veilguard's difficulty options, which at the most basic level include three broad settings. Storyteller, for those who are into it for the narrative. Adventurer, which is presumably a more challenging balance between story and combat. And Nightmare, which is self-explanatory. Players can switch between Storyteller and Adventurer mode at will, but Nightmare is a permanent choice, so make that at your peril. For those who like to fiddle, there is also an Unbound mode, which enables individual adjustment of features like wayfinding, aim assist, whatever, combat timing to make parrying easier or more difficult, enemy health, and how much damage they put out. A full-on auto-aim option is available, as is one that prevents death from occurring outright. Okay, the game director Corian Bush told the site that none of those options are cheats. Okay. It's an option to make sure players of all abilities can show up, she said. Get good diehards might feel personally attacked, but I think it's a great idea. Accessibility is the primary driver here. The more people you can bring into your game, the better it is for everyone. But it's also great for players who want to enjoy the game without having to fight all the way through it. I played Divinity Original Sin on its easiest mode because I wanted to explore the world and enjoy the story without getting bogged down into complex combat. And when it was all over, I had no regrets. Did I cheat myself out of the full and proper experience? I don't think so, and even if I did, that's not your business, buddy. Of course, if you want to get your ass kicked all day long by elven gods and their demonic minions, knock yourself out. This is a judgment-free zone, but not everyone is into that sort of thing. DragonAge the Veilguard is set to come out sometime this fall. Oh my god. So, here's my issue with this. Let me explain a few things about myself first. For one, I don't care how you play your single-player game for the most part. As long as you are having fun with your single-player game, whatever. It's a single-player game. How you would play it doesn't affect other people. If you save scum, fine. If you don't, fine. If you choose to only do certain things, whatever. For example, Dragon's Dogma, you can't save scum because they lock you to one save file, and you are unable to do anything beyond that. I think that is stupid. All that said, what options a developer chooses to put in a game tells me what they are focused on when it comes to their development. This does not say to me that this developer was looking to give a good rounded experience for gamers. They wanted something that was as accessible as possible. As accessible as possible means they wanted as broad an audience as possible, which means they made it as watered down as possible, which means it's not for me. Now, I know there are going to be tons of people out there who are really excited for this, especially games journalists, because that means they'll be able to beat the game, but it's not for me. It's not for somebody who wants a game where they spent more time concentrating on their mechanics, where they spent more time concentrating on how things interact with each other. Because if you think doing these kinds of adjustments are easy, they're not. These are hard things to account for in programming. And I'm going to say this is probably part of why it took so long for the game to come out, because they had a lot of time sunk into these. And I'm going to bet that there's a lot of bugs because of the amount of back-end programming this takes. This is not easy stuff. And yeah, it's going to make those people who are like, oh, I just want to see the story, really happy, because they're going to be able to see the story. I'm a bet that the nightmare mode isn't all that nightmare. They probably just pumped up the HP. They didn't do anything special in terms of AI or anything like that. And it's, things hit harder and have more health. That's going to be their nightmare mode. It's not going to be the AI is improved or things change in any specific way. And having an aim assist of any kind, oh my God. Yes, I am going to judge you if you use an aim assist. I'm sorry, I just am. I get that there are people who play video games for different reasons, but at the same time, that's why there are so many different types of video games. This game wasn't, in the beginning, this kind of thing. The fact that they first transitioned it from a turn-based game to more of an action-based game in the second game, and then further into action-based in the third game, and now they're taking it and kind of making it action-based, but at the same time making it easy so that people don't have to try. Who is their audience? And that's the problem, is they want the broadest audience possible. I do not want something for the broadest audience possible. I want a game that is a very specific product, and I want the specific product that I think of when I think DragonAge, which even with Inquisition still had turn-based mechanics, still had the ability to control my teammates, had death in it. What is the point of playing a game if I don't die? If I don't have to try, if I don't have to make some effort? Why put that kind of time into making something if you're just going to make what is basically the equivalent of a visual novel? Why do you want to make a visual novel for people? I mean, if you want to make a visual novel for people, that's fine. Go for it. But don't make a visual novel that you also are saying is a fighting game. That doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't work in the end. This game is not going to do very well with this kind of thing. Yeah, they think, okay, so we're going to put in all the options and we're going to get the best of both worlds. You're not, because the people who want the hard stuff, the people who want something that gives them a challenge are going to play it for a little while, and they're going to see that this isn't an actual challenge. This is you pretending to give them a challenge, and they're not going to be into it. They're going to realize that what you made wasn't for them. They were not your audience. Your audience is the game journalists. Your audience is the people who don't have the time to play games, but like the idea of playing games. And there are games out there for those people already. They are not the larger section of video gamers. However, it's frustrating and saddening. And I mean, I know there is realistically nothing we can do about it at this point. At this point, I am just documenting the slow fall of what was once a great series that I love. And I've accepted that there's really nothing I can do about it. At this point in time, it's all set in stone. I am probably one of the few people you will find who is okay with their beloved franchises dying, because I am totally fine with finding something new. If you aren't going to give me what it is I am looking for, I am okay finding something new. You have already told me I am not your audience. I am not the type of people you want playing your game. Thus, I will find something else to play. I hope that there are people out there who enjoy this. I hope the people who buy it and think that this is what they want, I do hope they enjoy it, because everybody deserves to enjoy something. It is not for me. And for those who are going to be mad that I've said that, I don't know why you're upset. I've said you can have fun with it. I've said you're totally, I don't care if you enjoy it. This is now for you. It is not for me. I will either go and play the previous games, which were very much for me, or I will find other games to play. Or both, because I can do both. It's the nice thing about this world is that I am capable of doing both. I can find new games and play the old ones. Doesn't mean it doesn't break my heart a little to see it happening. If this is the direction other AAA game studios are going to take, they're going to find that their audience is much smaller than they anticipated. Instead of giving themselves a bigger audience, instead of catering to the people who buy their game and trying to pull in this new audience that requires them to do things that are unnecessary for their old audience, they're going to find that it drops off. And I do hope those who feel the same, those who agree with me, will join me in finding new games. I am not going to be one of those people who will sit here and screech about how, well, I mean, to some degree, I am going to sit here and screech about how they're ruining it, because they're ruining it. And it makes me sad and it makes me angry. But I'm also not going to dwell on it for so long that I can't find other things to do. That's part of why, while I was gone, I have so many games that I want people to look at. That's part of why, even though I know those videos do poorly, I will continue to put out videos about games, tabletop games, video games, heck, even board games if I find them, that I think people will enjoy playing. Because part of what we need to do to improve the market going forward is to make sure we are not solely focusing our anger on those places that make us angry. That we are not just constantly yelling about how they're ruining everything we love. Because if we do that, then they're going to win, because all that's going to happen is we are going to be giving them the attention they desire. I will continue talking about them, but I will also continue looking for their replacements. Because I have a limited amount of time in life, we all do. And I want to make sure that I use that time doing the things I enjoy. I will play Baldur's Gate 3 because they have the playstyle I want. They have a difficulty mode that doesn't include turning off fucking death. So it is what it is. All that said, it feels great to be back. I would like to remind everyone that if you are interested in supporting the channel, to please go ahead and check out the memberships. I know there's only one level, but it's easier for me. Maybe down the line we can expand it a little bit as I get some ideas, but I didn't want to make it too complicated to start with. Someone recommended I start a wish list of sorts, so there is a Throne wish list link in the description if for some reason you're interested in that. There's not much on it right now. I will probably add some more stuff, most likely for my pets more than anything. But if that's something you're interested in and you want to take a look at, I would be insanely grateful. Insanely grateful that you guys are here listening to the video. Thank you all. I would like to thank those of you who've already become members. That would be DX Machina NZ, Emperor Doomsday, Zanzoltan, Snake Oil Sean, and Schmitted. I apologize if I said anybody's name incorrectly. Please feel free to correct me in the comments. I am very grateful for you for becoming members. And for the rest of you, let me know what you think in the comments. Are you excited for a no death mode? How do you feel about aim assist? Is that something you're excited to be able to use? Do you feel like it is fair to say that a game who focuses on developing those kinds of back-end developments is possibly not for you? Do you think it's fair to judge a game based on where they focus their development? I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you really liked it, you can feel free to share it around, and I will catch you later.